For a lot of us, our mentalities only go as far as the eyes can see, meaning we only focus on our physical reality, our current circumstances. But what you see is what you get. So choose to see that which you desire to see. I am begging you to ignore your reality. As you probably know, this is a big topic that's going around right now, or that has been going around within the spiritual, religious, or the mental space. And this channel is all about mental skills. So at this point, it's something right up my alley that I feel like I can touch on directly. So I was just watching somebody else's video touching on this topic. And when I watched the video, I looked through the comments and I came across this particular comment. I was happy that I came across this comment because I wanted to find a objection to this idea of ignore your reality, or a way that a lot of people would excuse this way of thinking, because I believe in it 100%. So this comment in particular said, "My friends are all rich," which I don't know if that's actually true, but if because usually if you got 3 friends around you that's rich, usually you're gonna be the 4th one, right? And I don't know if this person is rich or not, but by the way they, whatever. "And it's easy for them to ignore your reality. Reality is bills, mortgage, raising kids, working 45 hours per week, and adulting. We can finally live our life when we are rich enough to not work." What this person is talking about is just all the responsibilities, the obligations, and just the survival mode that we get into. And most of our realities, like this is what the average person would experience, and why they would say, ignoring your reality is false, that's fake. What are you talking about? So yeah, I wanted to just touch on this topic from the a mental standpoint, what this actually means in terms of the mind. First and foremost, when it comes to any form of mental transmutation, when it comes to any type of getting, this is about an internal getting, not an external getting. A lot of us be too focused on external gettings when most of what's going to help you live a better life is internal getting. Not to say that money won't help you. Money that will definitely help you for sure. A lot of what's going to actually help you to live a peaceful, better life, have a better mindset in general, have a better perspective is an internal switch, not so much of an external switch. In order to be true controllers of our own mind, of our own reality, we want to focus more on the internal gettings. What am I saying by internal gettings? That means filling your own internal cup up without your external having to look a certain way for you to feel good, right? For you to feel love, for you to feel happy, for you to feel abundance. Essentially, that's what an internal getting means. So what this comment is basically saying is that real life is just filled with all of these things that I have to do, right? Keyword on do, to survive, maintain, and grow. Real quick, I want to give you the straight away what I feel like is the real meaning and the real definition behind ignoring your reality. But before I do that, I want you to understand the difference between hardship and suffering. So hardship is your external circumstances, your external situations that you are subject to have to deal with within your physical reality. Suffering equals the psychological state that we create, and this can be around our hardships or whatever, but it's something that's mental. So you can think of hardship as the physical, and you can think suffering as the mental. And I'm gonna break down to you the difference between the physical reality and the mental reality. This is the definition if you just want it real quick and then want to get out of here. To ignore your reality means to change the perspective from which you are interpreting your circumstances so that you may eliminate suffering and just become whole within yourself. That is really what ignoring your reality means. So everything I'm gonna be touching on from the rest of this point is just harping on this viewpoint and adding on to it and breaking down and explaining how you can do it, the whole understandings behind it, and what it really means. So a perspective is a viewpoint you look from, not something that belongs to the circumstance itself. So you control your perspective, not the circumstances or the situation. It is your power of how you view what you are going through or what you are dealing with or a hardship, whatever it is in front of you. You own your perspective, which means if you own it, you can change it. It's up to how you use your mental willpower to adjust the lens to something that is more beneficial to your inner state of being. So now let's look at this from a spiritual viewpoint. All right. So you can also say that ignoring your reality means remembering the realization of your true spiritual nature beyond these physical responsibilities. Because what this comment basically states is all the responsibilities and the obligations that we have to go through in order to survive, maintain, or grow. When we talking about your true spiritual nature, which I'm pretty sure you already know if you're watching this video, or maybe you don't, but something to help you remember that you are a spiritual being living a physical human experience is that in order for you to experience something, in order for you to experience whatever you experience right now that we call existence, there has to be a greater nothing behind this. By nothing, I mean not a thing. The spiritual is not a thing. For your experience to be something, meaning that it is the sum of a thing, part of a thing, but it is not the whole thing. The spiritual is nothing, which means it is everything. In order for you to exist right now, right, your impermanent life, there has to be something behind this. And that's all the evidence that you need of your true spiritual nature. Your life is impermanent, which means one day you will expire. You were born and one day you will go. And that's just the creation of life, how it goes, how it's been going. But impermanence, right? Your impermanence can only come from that which is permanent. So this is why you can say that physical life is an illusion, because this is all impermanent. It can be destroyed. In order for something to be impermanent, it has to come from that which is permanent to create something that is impermanent. Basically saying that the spiritual is permanent. God is permanent. Where you come from is permanent. That can never go. The fact that this can go lets you know that this is impermanent. But if this can go, that means it also came from somewhere. So in a comment, he spoke about how we can actually start living once we become rich and we don't have to work. The truth is, you start living your life the moment you stop letting your mind get hijacked by your reality, basically obsessing over responsibilities, worries, and obligations. So yes, there's things that you have to do, but you're not allowing yourself to stress about it every single moment. And the way that you do that is by remembering that your true spiritual nature, what you're experiencing, is impermanent. This might be kind of going off to the side a little bit, but it all comes around full circle at the same time with understanding that what matters the most is what you do for your soul, the food that you feed your soul, the realizations that you can come into about being a pure soul that's not harboring hate, that's not harboring all of these lower frequency vibrations that might hold you down. If the external expires, the only thing that truly matters is your internal being. That's what helps your soul become more pure. You are influencing your soul every single day based on who you are being, based on the ideas that you are adopting, based on you freeing yourself from karma, freeing yourself from energetic baggage, freeing yourself from lower frequencies and vibrations and illusions. That's a little bit of a deeper topic, but I feel like I just had to say that, right? So let's get back on track. A perspective change is you shift the angle or the viewpoint from which you tackle life from. And yes, this is all a mental skill. It is a mental art. Reality is ultimately mental. And what do I mean when I say this? Physical reality is a half truth. Part of reality is physical and the other part is mental, meaning there is a physical reality and a mental reality. Most of what we experience is our mental reality. The physical reality is bound by the laws of nature, which means if you go jump off a building, that's not going to be good for you. If you get stung by a bee, that's not going to be good for you, right? The physical reality is bound by the laws of nature. Mental reality, or our minds, our mentals, our mentalities, have the ability to use the laws of nature to influence our physical reality. So the physical reality is bound by the laws of nature. It has to follow them. Our minds are what we can use to influence and control our physical reality, cause and effect. So that's how I want you to start seeing the physical versus the mental. There is a physical limitations that we have to deal with, right? If it's something wrong with your body, unfortunately, now you don't have a leg and you can't move around as easy. Yes, that is a physical limitation for sure. It has to follow the laws of nature within that sense. Our mentalities operate within a different way. Our mentalities operate at a higher rate of vibration than our physical realities. And through our mental realities, we can direct and control our lives. besides the obvious physical limitations. Like we can't grow back a leg. If you jump off a building, you can't just start to fly. Within that, you can direct the directions that your physical reality is taking you into. So it means you can get rich. Like you can find love. You can manifest something into your life by understanding the laws of the universe, aka the laws of nature. When you understand them, you know how to use them. And that is what the mind can do. So just so you understand the difference between perception and perspective, perception is what you see. And perspective is how you interpret what you see. So the thing about your physical reality is that it is the ultimate seducer. It will keep you in a state of thinking that this is real and that the spiritual is fake, because you're not really seeing the spiritual, but you are, because the spiritual is everywhere within the physical. Physical reality is the child of the spiritual. And when I say this, you can actually replace spiritual with mental. So you can say that the physical reality is the child of the mental. Not our mentals though, but the mental of the Most High, or the mental of the universe, or the mental of God, since God created everything, even the universe. Created it through thought, through the mind. God's mental operates on obviously on a way different scale than our minds operate, but we are made within the image of God. Our bodies, as you see, our bodies, right? We did not create this. This is not from our own minds. This is from the mind of God that created this, that constructed this being that we are, this art that we are and that we experience in the world. This was through the mind of God. Our minds operate in a sense of thought, and we can actually bring certain things into creation ourselves, as we've been doing. That creation is godlike. It comes from God, God's true nature. God has to create. We think. And that is the difference between God's mental and our mental. We have a lower form. So ultimately, altering your reality, aka mental transmutation, requires changing your perspective on your circumstances rather than changing the circumstances themselves. So what are we changing our perspective of our circumstances to? To whatever helps you see life the way you desire to see it, for your own inner well-being, spiritual growth, and gratitude. Notice I said inner. Let the inner be the thing that you want to change the most. Let the external be a byproduct of that which you have changed internally. It will automatically become that anyway. So the more you can understand these concepts that I'm talking about, you will understand how to use the laws of nature to basically create whatever external you want, beyond just the physical limitations, right? Like you still gonna understand, in order to create wealth, you have to play within the laws of money. You have to play within the laws of wealth. You will have to actually use your willpower. You're going to have to use discipline. You're going to have to use these physical forces to bring wealth about within your physical reality still, right? But this all starts with getting your mind in the right place, getting your perspective on life in the right place. Some people are born with parents that are in situations that distill the right mindset within them to start actually creating wealth without even learning all of these back end parts behind it. But some of us, we need to learn the back end parts behind it because we wasn't taught this as we was growing up. So your circumstances are surface level. Your being is much deeper. You don't chase love externally. That's not real love. You have love internally. That is the most realist, most foundational love you can have. It's to have love internally. Within that, you're not choosing what you love and what you don't love externally. Everything is love. You don't chase external things. You have it already internally. And you let that which is internal reflect to your external world. So reality bends around your perspective, observation, and beliefs of your circumstances. Imagine yourself going through time and space right now, right? Moving through time and space, and your reality is literally shaping itself in the present moment right now based on your perspective of your interpretation and observation of that which you are seeing and experiencing. And that is how your mental reality works. By mastering your mind, you essentially learn how to reshape your perspective, aka your inner state. Your perspective is essentially your inner state, which influences how you treat your external world. So that's why it's kind of easy to tell how a person is internally, based on how they see the world externally, which means who you are being is a direct effect of your perspective on life, cause and effect. So a person will only act and be to the limitations that they hold on their own perspective of their life. So you can tell my perspective on life based on how I am being. So if I'm showing up happy, you can tell that I have a good perspective on life. You can tell what my perspective on life seems like. If I'm showing up and I'm angry and I'm sad and I'm mad, you can tell what my current perspective on life is. And let what you do, whatever you're doing and how you do it, let what you do be a reflection on who you are being. That is how life works. What you do is a direct reflection on who you are being. Physical limitations do exist, but your mental limitations are usually a result of strong false beliefs. For a lot of us, our mentalities only go as far as the eyes can see, but what you see is what you get. So change how you see life and you will get a different life immediately. It might not be externally, but at the same time it is, because if you change how you're seeing your life, if we were talking about real true mental transmutation, if you change your perspective on life, a deep change on it, a real one, it would immediately change your life just like that. And then if you can hold that perspective, right, it's a mental skill. So a lot of these things you need to put in the reps. You need to keep bringing yourself back to using this skill in order to sharpen it. And this is what becoming a mental artist means. You don't just do it once, and then once you go back to your normal state, you don't do it again or you feel like you failed. No, once you come back to your normal state, then you use your mental willpower to do it again. And the more you keep doing it, the more you keep bringing yourself back to these understandings, the more you keep using your mental transmutation to change your perspective, the stronger that ability becomes. And eventually, and you go to sleep, and every time you go to sleep, your brain rewires, your spirit rewires. Eventually, you're just going to start seeing life the way that you want to see it. Like, it's just going to get really easy, like overnight or overnights. So mental transmutation and polarization is the art of changing your mental vibrations to influence your circumstances. So changing our state of mind, changing our perspective to influence our outside world, to influence our physical reality, to influence the laws of nature, cause and effect. So the cause will be using our willpower to change our mental state and our perception. That is the cause. The effect is that we get a better life. The effect is that we're more happy. The effect is that we're more disciplined, we're more focused, and we create wealth in a way that we want to create it within our life. Once again, this is a skill. It will take repetition. It will take willpower. It will take you reminding yourself to do this. So that is what it really means to ignore your reality. And just keep reminding yourself of this point. For a lot of us, our mentalities only go as far as the eyes can see. Meaning we only focus on our physical reality, our current circumstances. But what you see is what you get. So choose to see that which you desire to see. Choose to change your perspective, and that will change your life. Reps, repetition. The first day, you're going to do it, and then eventually you're going to go back to your normal state of how you see things. The more you keep doing it, and it might not take that long, the more you keep doing it, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, every time you go to sleep and you wake up again, you become a new person. You become slightly a different or new person based on the thoughts that you were thinking that day, based on how you used your mind that day. So if you really want to become a true mental artist and constructing your own life and really become a master at your reality, this is how you do it. Ignore reality. If you got something out of this video, leave a like, comment, and I'll see you in the next one.